Midakyapi. Welcome to 7 Gen Voices, an ongoing dialogue that promotes solutions that are grounded in the wisdom of our ancestors and benefit the next 7 generations. The 7 Gen movement is unifying people like you and me who want to create a better world for future generations.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of 7 Gen Voices. My name is Jillian Wan, and I am your host. Today we are talking with Sherry Wright-Plank, who is the director of Tatanka Funds, which is an emerging CDFI here on Rosebud. And as you'll recall from previous episodes, Tatanka Funds is a part of the Three Sisters. Hi, Sherry. Thank you so much for being here today. How is your day going so far?
Hi, Jillian. Everything is going great. I'm enjoying the beautiful weather and just sitting here working from home. Hope you're having a great day as well.
I am. It's going good. I mean, we're lucky to have such nice weather right now. That's what I'm enjoying the most. But before we jump into our discussion about Tatanka Funds, I wanted to talk about your previous role where you were the general manager of Rosebud Office Solutions, which you helped develop into $1 million business, which is amazing. So as someone who previously managed a small business, what are some challenges that you faced?
Thank you, Jillian. Well, as far as challenges, there is a lot of challenges for any small business owner. One of the main things, if you're not in like the service industry, if you're in the product industry, one of the main things is there are companies like Amazon and Walmart who they're just corporate giants. You know, they have been reigning and owning the SP 500. They've been Fortune 500 companies for decades. And with that comes their purchasing power. They're able to purchase tons of products in bulk. And with that, they get this discounted rate and they get this special pricing. In the business world, we call it economies of scale. But, you know, just layman's terms is just bulk purchasing, just kind of like Sam's Club. If someone can afford to buy everything they need from their house in Sam's Club, it's going to cost them a lot, even though the products that they get are going to be cheaper if they break them down individually. So the same thing for us. So companies like that make it hard for us to offer good prices because we're so small and our orders are so small. So that was one of the hugest challenges, is being able to offer a good priced product for our customers locally, especially with servicing an area that is 86% unemployment rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for answering that. I'm glad you did, because it gave us a lot more insight as to how difficult it can actually be to start a small business, especially on the reservation. But that jumps into what Tatanka Funds is. So I just wanted to ask you, what is Tatanka Funds?
Oh, so Tatanka Funds is an emerging CDFI, and I know in Indian country we're big on acronyms, right? So Tatanka Funds is a community development financial institution. And community financial institutions are developed to serve impoverished areas, to offer capital to areas and people that normally have difficulties accessing capital. One of the things about the reservation that's specifically special is our sovereignty and our trust land. So to be clear and just blatant, our sovereignty and our trust land scares lenders. It scares them because they're not sure if they lend us $40,000, $100,000, if they're going to ever be able to recover that funds if we default on a loan. So it is scary. I would be scared to lend that much money to somebody with uncertainties. So with that, Tatanka Funds also offers technical assistance. Technical assistance is business coaching. So we'd help people with business plans. We'd help them develop them, not just give them a to-do list and say, here you go, come back to us, and these are the things you need to check off the box, and we're going to give you a loan. We also offer loans. We're going to be offering loans. The loan products that we're going to be offering are going to be homeownership loans in the future. We're not currently ready for that right now. We're going to be offering small business micro enterprise loans, which are loans that are $25,000 or less. We're going to, and one of the main loans, our first loan product that we're going to be starting with are going to be credit builder and credit repair loans. One of the main issues that our people have here locally, Jillian, is that a lot of people do not know what a credit score is or how important it is, or that you're supposed to actually start building it when you're a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things when it comes to financial literacy that we need to educate ourselves and make sure that our people here are educated, so we're not making decisions that are affecting us financially where we get into something that we can't afford.
That brings me to my next question. So who can utilize Tatanka Funds services? I mean, when you start thinking about your credit and seeing numbers, it could be really intimidating, especially if you think, oh my gosh, my credit's already terrible. Like, is there still a chance for me? So who can utilize these services that you offer?
So I'm glad you asked that question. So as far as the technical assistance, with that we offer financial literacy courses, which that's just scratching the surface. There's an array of services listed under that. We also will offer business coaching services and courses, like helping a startup or teaching an artist how to price their work. And for the homeownership section, we offer home maintenance courses. And home maintenance isn't just like repairing a screen door or anything like that. Home maintenance can be organizing your kids' bedroom to make the most efficient space in a small living area. So there's just a ton of things, but just, to scratch the surface, those are the three categories: for technical assistance, home maintenance, business coaching, and financial literacy. And we actually do service people with bad credit. Or no credit. That's what our main focus is to try and help serve the local economy so people can we can help people build their credit up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with the local population and the lack of resources, we have one bank. A lot of people aren't really tapping into the certain things that they need to build their credit. We'll get credit card offers in the mail, get a credit card when we're 18, and boom, ruin our credit. And then we can't buy a car or get a student loan and all of these things that affect us. So that's what Tatanka Funds is here to do. We're here to help. And we want to eventually start helping people at a younger age. But for now, we just have enough capacity to help within the original reservation boundaries, which is the 5 counties.
All right. And then just taking a quick step back, how is a CDFI different from a bank?
Oh, okay. So banks are for-profit organizations, and CDFIs are nonprofit. Nonprofit doesn't mean that we're not generating profit. It's just the way we use our profit is different. We're funded. We're labeled 501c3s, and that's so people will be interested in donating to us. And it's a classification by the IRS that states that we're serving a cause, whereas a bank is just providing a service, and they're making money off of your interest payments when they provide you the service, their loan product. We do make a small profit. However, that does not go to shareholders. It goes back into the organization to help generate and offer free services to the local community. So that's the difference. The other difference is our regulations are quite different than the banks. The bank has a lot of stringent, the bank has a lot more restrictions than a CDFI. We're specifically tailored to service economically deficient areas throughout America. CDFIs are not just tailored to Native America. there throughout the whole nation for all races of people.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that gives people a lot of reassurance that, a CDFI is here to help the people and to help them change their lives, because everything you mentioned previously are all things that, help create a better life for people, a better lifestyle. So in what ways does Tatanka Funds promote community development?
Oh, it actually promotes community development in several ways. Um, but it's not just saying, here's some money, pay me back.
Mhm.
It's us preparing the people and walking them through the steps of getting a loan, the preliminary steps of getting a loan, walking them through the actual loan, and offering services to help them be successful. Not just handing them off some money based on a business plan that we read and hoping that they're successful and chasing them down for payment and sending them to the credit bureau if they didn't pay. We're actually setting them up for success. If it's somebody that's coming in for a home loan, we're really going to prep them and teach them about a loan and show them what's affordable to them and help them understand how much money they need to make to get their dream house. Or to help a business realize the amount of sales that they need to and how to structure their business to get those sales to be successful, so they're able to not just pay back the loan but be successful and help create and stabilize our economy locally.
Mhm. Yeah, and it really goes to show that Tatanka Funds is, there to not just change lives right in this moment, but to create a better world for future generations. Do you feel that Tatanka Funds has the capabilities to change our world now for future generations?
I do. I really do, because this sounds so cliche, but that people always say education is power, and it really is. It when you're educated, and when I say education today in any answer that I may give, I don't just mean like our formal elementary school, high school, and college education. I mean education around in a complete whole. Um, how can I explain that? When I say education, I don't just mean in our standard school education, elementary, high school, and college. I mean education in every element of our life, our health, our finances, our relationships. So, as far as Tatanka Funds, educating people on finances is going to help them make better decisions when it comes to their future, when it comes to their job, when it comes to any business decisions that they may or may not make. Uh, Also, it helps future generations, because one of the main things when it comes to college, young kids going off to college, they don't have any idea what they're getting into, because a lot of our parents didn't go to college. And if they did, they usually went later in life. So they weren't there to teach us that. The same thing with home ownership. The same thing with buying a car. This, um, anything in our life that we're doing, if our parents did it and taught it to us, it's going to be there. We're going to have that education. So Tatanka Funds, I hope, will reach enough people to educate, enough local people to educate them so they can make informed decisions when it comes to buying a business, and purchasing a home,
Mhm.
or even their own, whatever they need to do, whatever their personal financial goals are. If it's buying a house, sorry, I said buying a house, whatever their personal financial goals are. If it's a car, it's a motorcycle, whatever it is, I hope Tatanka Funds can help provide that for future generations. And with that, we can expand and help grow our reservation into um, an economically self-sufficient place where future generations can happily live in. because I know a lot of people have a hard time living here now. Even I do sometimes. I want Starbucks and I want certain things that I can't have. So I'm hoping that Tatanka Funds can help our people, give them the support that they need to build our economy the way that we want it.
All right, Sherry, jumping into our next question, how can self-sufficiency improve our quality of life within our community?
Well, self-sufficiency is very important. That's a really good question. Some people think of self-sufficiency as us letting the government off the hook for the horrific acts that we endured as a nation, and some people view it as, the government owes us this and they need to take care of us. And there's truth to all of that, the broken promises of treaties and everything there. There's truth to all of that. However, I feel it's more important for us to fight for our rights, and to be able to do that, self-sufficiency will give us the freedom we need to do that. It'll give us freedom, and it'll give us our health, mental and physical. And I say that because it'll give people a fair chance to make a good life for themselves. When it comes to self-sufficiency, everything is related when it comes to self-sufficiency and economy. People have basic needs for food, water, and shelter, and that has not changed in thousands of years. But the one thing that has changed is now we need money for those things. And a job can provide that money. And for people to have jobs, we have to have a local economy. And the economy needs the people to shop at the local establishments to thrive. So they feed each other. And once everybody can take care of themselves and their family and their needs are met, then our tribal government can reallocate the funding that serves the self-sufficiencies that we have, like assistance to people who are in low-income families, because everyone, in a perfect world will have a good job. Or I don't want to say a perfect world, in the future world that I hope for, that I'm working hard for, is that everybody will have a job and be able to take care of themselves and their family. And then our tribal government can start focusing on the bigger issues, like regaining our lands, preserving our cultures, fighting for our treaty rights, and uniting with other tribes for like resource bartering and national trading with other tribes and other forms of government, whether that be local or state, and focusing on government to government strategy with state and governments, and hopefully changing the face of Indian country. So self-sufficiency can change the quality of life for Indian people tremendously. Once we stop having to triage everything, we can start planning for a better future.
That's a great answer. And your answer really made me think about this in a whole new way. When we think of self-sufficiency and being successful, we think we have to live in a Western society. But that's not necessarily true. Like, we can live here on the reservation and we can still incorporate our culture and still deal with our harsh realities that we face every day. So thank you so much, Sherry. That was a great answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. And it's, people, as someone who lives here on the reservation, I mean, we find ourselves going off the reservation so many times for groceries, for shopping, for a good cup of coffee. So to be able to have those services here and to be able to teach our people that they're fully capable of owning their own business or being a really good worker or taking charge of their own finances is really important. Also, I just want to take another step back here. So I've seen the statistic that Rosebud has a demonstrated need for 3,000 housing units, which is a lot. So what role does Tatanka Funds play in solving the housing crisis here?
Housing is a huge issue. And I'm glad you said, what role do we play? Because there's so many entities that are involved in fixing our housing need, our housing crisis. There are so many things that we need here on a local level. and for Tatanka Funds to do their job completely. I spoke earlier about the lending issue. One thing that would help us get more loans and have more access to capital would be our UCC code getting pushed by our tribal government. Tatanka Funds, we plan to work collaboratively with SWA to amend ordinances regarding zoning and tenant codes. Once we get the capital and the money, I plan to work with the RST Forestry Department to help hopefully financially support his vision of creating a do-it-yourself home. In his words, when I spoke with him on the phone, he said he wants to create a home that the Ikjewichasha, that the everyday man or woman can assemble with their family with our own local natural resources. So I thought that was a really cool vision. Also, one of the things that Tatanka Funds is going to do is pre-COVID, we were going to work with SOLO and THPO, or the Tribal Historic Preservation Office and Land Office, and try to make it easier for people to get home sites. And also work collaboratively with one of our sister programs in the housing initiative through Sichangu CDC, because one of the things that we do need to really look at and start thinking about and planning in accordance with our own tribal constitution is the 7th generation planning. And this is my opinion. If everybody gets 2 acres when they go to get a home site, is that 7th generation planning? Are we going to develop those into a Tioshbae, or is it just for a Tiwahe to have 2 acres? Will there be enough land if we continue to do that in 7 generations? Should we be planning for community growth rather than scattered sites? I don't know. I don't have the answers to that, but those are just questions for thought, food for thought for whoever's listening and watching, and something for our leaders to start thinking about. As far as Tatanka Funds and the housing initiative, I really want infrastructure is such a huge issue. We can offer somebody a house loan, but there may be restrictions on it. So like say, Jillian, you come and you want a house, and we give you the loan for the house, and you get your house moved in, and you realize, I don't have a foundation, I don't have appliances in my house, I don't have water or electric, and I don't have the money for that because I'm paying this loan. So preparing people and educating them for everything that comes with buying a home is our main goal. So hopefully, like I was saying, educating the people is one of the main things that Tatanka Funds is going to do to help solve the housing crisis. And it's like backcasting. We have to sit there and think about the future and what the needs are. We need 300 or 3,000 homes, and what are all the steps in between. Another one of the things that Tatanka Funds is going to be able to help with is maybe there's a local carpenter out there that wants to start a business, and they're going to just mass manufacture trusses. Or maybe there's a local construction company, or somebody wants to start a local construction company that's going to build homes. Tatanka Funds will eventually be able to help support that local business owner with raising capital for projects or startup funding.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into this, and I just want to thank you so much, Sherry, for doing this today. I feel like you really gave us a much better understanding of what Tatanka Funds is, and I think our listeners will even, better understand that there's so much going on in the background, and you guys are doing some really amazing work for the community. And it's institutions like this that can be a real game changer when it comes to home ownership and being an entrepreneur. And for those of you watching, I'd like to encourage you to be on the lookout for what Tatanka Funds has to offer in the near future. Do you have a website where people can visit Tatanka Funds?
It's currently, we're developing it. And when it's up and going, we'll post it on Facebook.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Well, this concludes today's episode. Again, thank you so much, Sherry, for being on the show today. You really gave some great information. For those of you listening, be sure to head over to Redco's Facebook page where you can keep a lookout for the next episode of Voices of 7 Gen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody. Have a good day, Jillian.
You too.